Should I open my marriage? I'm so bored.
No one has to spend free time doing kid things. That's not fun.
You say that word is so offensive. Yeah. The stepmother, she's evil, and that needs to be addressed.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of OP Said. If you notice, we're all wearing Christmas jumpers and getting into the Christmas spirit because here in the UK, it is Christmas jumper day. So if you're wearing one, shake for me. Shake! Yes. Anyway, I'm Marie.
And I'm Mel. And I'm May.
Okay, so today's story is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for laughing at my ex and his new wife when they suggested to change my son's school? I have a 10-year-old son, Tyler, with my ex. I have primary custody and he gets him on the weekends. We've co-parented well so far. I'm from Asia, where private schools are generally considered the best form of education. I decided not to marry until my son goes to college. I'm a banker, so I earn enough for the both of us, and the child support I receive goes directly into his savings. I also pay for his private school, which is expensive, but I can afford it. My ex married Lila last year. She has 2 kids. One is 10 and in the same grade as my son, and the other is 8. My son already feels that his father has taken away their one-on-one time because most activities now include all of the kids. His stepmother also tries to parent him, and he hates it. The kids are cordial but really don't see each other as siblings. This weekend, my ex and his wife invited me over for dinner. I went, and after dinner, they told the kids to go to their room so they could have a discussion with me. They said they can't afford to send the other kids to the same private school, and for the sake of equality, want to pull my son out of his school.
No.
They explained how beneficial it would be for the older stepkid and my son to attend the same school and be in the same class. I was pissed and laughed at them. I told them their financial issues aren't my problem and that I'm not changing my son's school. They doubled down, but I stood firm and took my son home. Since then, they've been blaming me, saying I want the family to fail and that my son doesn't talk to the other kids much. I told them building a relationship between the kids is my ex's job, not mine. I don't badmouth them or their children. I also don't see it as my responsibility to foster that relationship on his dad's side. Secondly, if this father keeps prioritizing his new kids over his own, that's exactly why Tyler is becoming distant. They're calling me an arsehole, and his new wife told me she's not going to deny her kids a father for Tyler's sake. Whoa. I told her she's no less than an evil stepmother. Edit. I also forgot to add, they also have an issue with the fact that my son has more branded things, which I can afford, and my parents buy him a lot too. I am an only child and he's their only grandchild. So yes, he's spoiled a bit on my side, but I won't deny my son good things just because they can't afford the same for their children.
And that's the end of that. That's it. That's the sentence that explains everything. Why should Tyler be denied anything when the mum can afford it? She's the primary caregiver as well, and I don't understand this need for it. Her last sentence explained everything for me. Tyler doesn't need to be denied anything, and she said it herself, based on her understanding of the education system, private schools provide the best education, and she wants the best for her son, and she can afford it. So why would she give her son less for the sake of equality? It doesn't actually make sense. I would have laughed as well. Actually, I did laugh because that's the only response for such a ridiculous request. And it's the appearance of equality, but not complete equality and fairness for the son, OP's son, Tyler, because his dad isn't going to give him any more time alone. So it's a small fix for nothing, for no reason. OP's son gets the best education where he currently is, so nothing needs to change. My answer would just be no, and OP, continue moving. There's nothing here to discuss. But what needs to happen though, is for OP's ex-partner, her son's father, to actually start bonding and doing more with his child and prioritising his child, their shared child. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, I would have a conversation with Tyler's father and explain to him how Tyler is feeling about the distance between them and how he feels that he's always having to share him. And because they haven't fostered a great relationship, well, at the moment, the siblings aren't even saying they're step siblings. They're just we don't see each other as siblings, when they should be trying to build some sort of relationship. That's what the parents should be focusing on, rather than auntie on the other side trying to make sure that everybody's dumb down to her kid's level because she can't afford certain things.
Exactly.
She should be trying to get to know Tyler, trying to make him feel at home, because what this says to me is that he doesn't really feel that much as part of the family when he's with them.
Yeah.
And it's very apparent that his dad is making more efforts with all of them rather than him, his son. His only son in that family, by the way. So I do think that she should talk to her ex and say, look, this is how your son is feeling and these are the things that you need to focus on. It would be great if every weekend when you have him, you could spend maybe an hour or two so that you could keep building your relationship. Because do you know what? When Tyler gets old enough, he's going to say, I don't want to go to my dad's house anymore.
Absolutely.
And then you will lose your son completely. So I think to try and nip that in the bud, that's the only thing that the mother should be responsible for at the moment, is alerting the dad that he's about to lose his son. This is the beginning stages of you losing your son. Apart from that, I don't have any comments about the rest of it because it's stupid.
Very.
If they could afford it, they would send their children to private school. So why would you tell the only person to who can go to private school to come back to public school? No public school is better than a private school. Are you crazy?
There are some actually.
Oh yeah,
there are.
Actually,
I'm not
it's true.
gonna lie, there are.
Yes, but currently that child is in a better place. So let's keep in there. Also, get your money up.
Yeah, like
Get your money up.
They're focusing on the wrong
fix
things.
Your
honestly.
money situation.
Yeah.
Because there's two of you and there's only one of me. So
It's true.
there's more in that group than there is over here, and I'm doing it. So maybe ask me questions about how you can rise up instead of telling me that I should
Lower my
standards for my child and give him less branded things so that you can feel better. Lila, shut the fuck up.
Both of them, they're insecure. Honestly, they're insecure and they're now trying to pull down OP so that OP gets on their level, which is beneath her. So no, OP's doing the right thing. Let her child get the best of everything because she can afford it. If it was a case where she was bothering them and asking them to contribute more, contribute what they don't have, I could understand. But they literally have no case and point. Yeah, definitely. And also, like, just to go back to the school thing, there's reports, like in the UK, Ofsted reports, that tell you that one school is better than another. That report confirms.
That was a thing on my part. Because even the school that my children go to is better than some of the private schools around.
Because I was going to say, if the conversation does get brought up again, see that report that's widely available.
Yeah.
It can state quite clearly, regardless of what country she's in, there's a report that says this school's better than that.
But that's not their argument.
And that's it.
That's not even an argument. Their argument literally is so that everyone could be at the same level in terms of school. It's not about it's not about how good a school is.
No, but that's the point. That's the point. If it's a better school, why would you take somebody out of a better
school? I know.
institute? It doesn't make any sense. I'm just saying, if they want to keep having this conversation, that's easy. The report will tell you why Tyler would be better off in the long run being at that school versus this other school.
And Tyler's not old. He sounds old enough to be like, I don't want to go to dad's house. After a while, that's what will happen. Because I was quite young when I said to my mum, no bueno, I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
The stepmother, she's evil and that needs to be addressed.
Yeah,
she doesn't care about OP's son.
I don't think she should have so much say in Tyler's life when she's not even primary caregiver. She's only partially part of the caregiving, what's it called, community. I don't understand why she's got so much to say. The only person that should be talking is Tyler's dad.
Yeah.
That's it. In that household anyway, they should be making decisions about their household. Her two kids. She came with more numbers. Worry about the two that are under your care and stop worrying about trying to make sure that Tyler goes down to your level. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me. It would be good for them to what?
They're haters. I'm telling you, that stepmother is a hater. She sees how OP is able to provide for her son and sees that her kids are going with less. But that's not OP's problem. That's literally not OP's problem.
Why
and what she now wants to do. Yeah, exactly.
Where's their
But my problem isn't her. Like, I've realised I no longer really have a problem with the evil stepmothers. I have a problem with the parents who belongs to the child. So it's the dad. It's OP's ex-partner, Tyler's dad. He is the problem. Why are you getting with and trying to now enforce the rules and the opinions of this evil step-parent? You are the parent. Why are you not taking care and doing everything that's in your child's best interest? any normal parent with good intelligence in their head, yeah, and that cares for their child would always want their child to be in a good position, which is a good school.
Let me tell you something.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care enough.
But he also does what most men do. When a woman comes into their
Relinquish
life,
parental
they say
responsibilities.
she's a mother, she's caring, she's now
They
the neck
assume.
that turns the head, and she's the secondary person in the house, so she knows all things that are to do with being a mother, and all the decisions go with her. They completely relinquish any parental rights,
yeah.
and they leave it to the mother of this house and the mother that is his full caregiver at home, and he is just there to make sure that his wife is happy. I have seen it time and time again. He'll make more efforts with his stepchildren, and you mark my words, they will love their stepfather, but he will have a child that he contributed to, and that child will not like him, and that will be Tyler, and that's the one that's going to make it, by the way.
Yes. I thought that was
Always and forever.
in 20 years' time, or even 10, because it's never.
He'll be asking money for surgery. He'll be like, "Oh, son,
can't you help your
kidney's
dad
failing
out?
We've
Okay.
never seen eye to eye.
Meanwhile, Tyler's now a surgeon, top of his field as well. Like,
But this is the guy
it
you tried to
happens
take
all
out
the
of
time.
private school.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Anyway, top comment, not the asshole. Do you have a formal custody arrangement? If so, does it lay out the schooling for your son? If it does, then pull it out and tell your ex that you're enforcing the custody arrangement, and he's welcome to try and tell a judge that depriving your son for the sake of ex's stepkids is a good idea. If it doesn't, you need to contact a lawyer and get these details locked into a legal agreement. Possibly will need to take your ex to court for this, but it will be worth it. If there's no formal custody arrangement, you need to contact a lawyer and get one in place ASAP. And then OP said, yes, I have. He can't change my son's school unless I agree to it. I have most of the decision-making power over my son's needs and care since he didn't want all of the responsibility on him. I knew it. He relinquished it. He relinquished them all. So you know what? He gets the brands. He gets everything he needs. It's not his fault. He's got 2 grandparents that love him.
So he can live a limited life like your kid.
Exactly. No, thank you.
No, OP's trying to afford her kid everything that she can within her power.
And she's doing it well.
And by them suggesting that he goes to a lesser than school, they're trying to restrict him and trying to restrict him only to what they can provide him.
Absolutely.
And that's not fair.
Completely off topic, we know at least 50% of you that watch this channel do not subscribe. If you could please hit that button, it will help send our stories and our videos to people just like yourselves. And also, if you are on YouTube, give us a hype. And we are also on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at OP Said Podcast.
So we have a submission via our Reddit, OP Said Pod. Should I open my marriage? I'm so bored.
Oh, wow.
I, 34 female, have been married to my husband, 36 male, for 11 years. We have 2 amazing children who attend a prestigious school, and we live in a very affluent suburb. I work in marketing and my husband works in real estate. And even though we earn quite well, our budget is always tight. Neither of us want to compromise on the children's schooling, and we love living where we live, so we decided to make some other lifestyle changes to live within our means. We are completely transparent about money and have a separate and joint accounts to manage our money. Unfortunately, our romantic life has taken the hardest knock, and I think my husband has given me the ick.
Oh. Well, how do you walk back from the ick, man?
You can't.
It's always so
Once
hard.
somebody has the ick, it's an ick forever.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
an
not
ick
forever,
It's
but
not forever.
it's hard.
It's hard to walk back.
Our marriage has been really great up until this point. We are best friends and each other's favourite people. Our families love each other and we are a really great team. We are crazy about each other and our bedroom life is out of this world. But lately, I am not enjoying his company outside of bedroom activity. We stopped doing date nights as part of our newfound fragility, which would be okay if we were finding other ways to connect and have quality time, but we are just not. All we ever talk about is money and it's so unpleasant. My husband is very pessimistic and anxious, and every time we talk, it feels like he transfers all that negative energy to me, and the conversation is clearly unproductive. Sometimes I even use bedroom activity to avoid talking because I really can't stand it. We both work from home most days, and I literally avoid him as much as I can because his presence makes me anxious. Whenever I hear his footsteps approach my home office, I immediately tense up. I hate this feeling. I'm not enjoying my marriage right now. A few weeks ago, I was gifted a dining experience with one of my clients. I was so excited to share this with my husband. We'll be getting a fancy dinner and drinks on the house, and we hadn't had a date night in 8 months. I proposed that we get some drinks at a nearby bar after dinner, since we wouldn't pay a cent towards a 5-course fine dining experience. We could surely fork out a few hundred for some cocktails and dancing after dinner. My husband agreed, but there was no enthusiasm in his voice or body. I figured his mind was too preoccupied with work to match my energy and didn't make a big deal out of it. The date went perfectly. My husband and I enjoyed the food and wine, chatted about everything other than finances, the children and work stress, and gave each other the undivided attention I'd been craving for so long. When we went to the bar I told him about, the mood changed completely. He didn't order anything for himself and watched me finish my whiskey sour as if he was timing me. I asked him what the problem was, and he eventually confessed he was only making this stop for me, but he hated being out without money and that he hated spending money he didn't budget for. Well, that about did it for me. The night was officially over. The amorous vibe we built up throughout the night was gone in an instant. We went home and straight to bed. In my line of work, attending events and socialising is my favourite part. But getting dressed up for my work events can't be the only fun I'm having. I want my husband to choose a restaurant, lose his breath at how beautiful I look, and buy me flowers. I want to order cocktails and wine without checking the price. I don't want to split the bill. I want to feel desired and spoiled. That evening made me start to wonder if I should seek out these romantic experiences with other men. I don't want to be intimate with another man, but it's clear my husband can't give me everything I want, and I don't want to put him under pressure. To be clear, I don't have a specific person in mind to do this with, because I've never been unfaithful or put myself in a position to be tempted. I just know that in my line of work, it would be easy to meet people who would be willing to take me out. I also know that what my husband and I are going through is just a phase, so I wouldn't be opening my marriage in perpetuity. Deep down, I know my husband would never in a million years be okay with this, but I can't let it go. I am craving romance, and I'm tired of expecting it from him when I know it's not going to happen. I know our budget is tight, but it's not that tight. So I'm convinced his issue is not our budget, but his lack of generosity. So, should I ask my husband if we can open our marriage so I can go on romantic dates with other men? Should I do it without telling him, just to get it out of my system? Or should I just endure for the sake of our marriage?
Okay, so I think Sis is wild for that being her solution to this problem. And she even said that her husband... It would be a straight no.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a bit wild to me. But for me, it's really obvious. It's sell your home. Sell your home, downsize, get a smaller house in the same area, because I don't know if it's similar to the UK where you have to be in a catchment area for your child to go to the same school, basically. But sell the home, because I think that the cost of where they live is quite high. If they're able to then get money back into the household, then he can stop being so conscious of how much money is leaving his account, because I think that's where it is. And also, talk to your husband. Talk to your husband. If you want romance and the only person that you want it from, which it sounds like, is her husband, why not just have a conversation with the husband? Talk to him about that. Re-budget. Like, look at the budgets again. Move the money, because it doesn't seem like she's out of love with her husband. It doesn't seem like she's less attracted to him. It just sounds like she's really starved of romance.
Yeah.
And she wants somebody who's present at these romantic events, who wants these gestures. But why not have a conversation first before she reaches for a completely diabolical solution that's never ever gonna run with her husband?
I agree.
So I would suggest actually going to intimacy counselling, if that's even a thing. And I think
That might cost too much.
Exactly. That sis may not be in a budget.
well, that's really what I would suggest, because or they could even look at how to do romantic things that are super duper cheap. They need to start exploring, like you said, talk to your husband, but I think they need to start exploring intimacy and romantic dates that don't cost a lot, and they can be at your local cafes. They could, because she's talking about getting dressed up and all of these things, but underneath all of that, she's actually just asking for romance. She's asking him to look at her and talk to her about her and their relationship and keep feeding into their relationship rather than talking about life, bills, budgets. She's basically saying, I want me and you time. That could be cinema tickets. There are 2-for-1 tickets to go and watch a film. There are so many different ways that you can date your husband and fall back in love with him, or you two fall back in love with each other, and you can do it under $50. There are so many different ways that you can do that. And obviously, and I'm saying it because she's saying that he's so money conscious, and that doesn't mean that they could definitely budget for higher price things. So it could be like once a month they do something that she wants to do, because she's saying that she wants to get dressed up, she wants to go out. But then also, I was reading an Ask Reddit, and it had different things that you can do to spice up your marriage and your romance when you're new parents. And some people are like, when they don't have enough time or they're tight on budget, one couple said that what they used to do, they used to carve out 45 minutes each day and eat dessert together. And it will be like 30 to 45 minutes of them just talking and sharing the same dessert and just sharing their thoughts of the day. And that was their time, and they felt like they were falling back in love with each other. So it's little things like that. Like, they could explore little things. It could be a game night, like, okay, this week we're going to play a game, we're going to do different things. There's card games you can do. There's so many cheap ways to bring romance, and that he won't be so bored at. But a reason why I'm saying that one of you needs therapy, I'm pointing at him, because man sounds bored. Anytime you say something, he doesn't sound enthusiastic. The dinner, he wasn't that enthusiastic about it.
He's weighed down.
He's paranoid
bored.
by
he's
the
weighed down by financial
But
pressures.
this is what I'm saying. So like you said, I think everything that we said combined could help save your marriage. But these are things that you could bring up to him, because it doesn't sound like he doesn't love you. It just sounds like he's really money conscious, which means that he's not even enjoying he's not even enjoying going out anymore. And I've just named about 5 things that they could do that aren't necessarily about money, and it's just about them. Do you know what I mean? So even if it's just like me and my husband do this thing where we send notes to each other during the day, or sometimes it's called, we share our thoughts, and it could be something sexy, it could be something when he's on holiday or something. And I found that brought some of the romance back, because we're writing things that we wouldn't necessarily say, and sometimes it makes you laugh, sometimes it's a meme. There's so many different ways that you could spice things up with your partner without it being this big gesture, because what she's asking for is actually big gesture, and I think that's what romance looks like to her. But there's different ways to be romantic. So I'm saying bring intimacy, and also maybe like budget it, because I don't know what their budget is. Maybe they can afford more than once a month, and he's just being tight. He just likes to have money, because some people, it's not so much that they don't have the money.
For sure.
They just he might come from a really broke background and never wants to go back. So because of that, he just behaves like he has no money. But he could probably afford to do it, because they're both working, not one. Both people are working. So I'm like, well, if she's a marketeer and she's exposed to some of these things, she could go with her husband to these big places, and do you know what I mean? So all I'm saying is budget for the big stuff, which is what she really wants, but also introduce romance into your relationship, so it's easy. So it's not just these big nights where he then ends up talking about it and ruining her night. Because that's what happens. They had a free night and he ruined it, because they went out for drinks after, watching her drink whiskey. Are you crazy? That was $100 or whatever she said. She's like, it killed the mood, and then they end up going home and going to bed. So I think romance and intimacy is missing from their relationship. She said she don't even want him to hear and talk.
So I think it's a joint approach, definitely. I think you need to attack this on every kind of front. First of all, I think the husband is severely stressed with financial budgeting, financial pressures, and he may be the kind of guy that likes to have a healthy savings account. And right now, they're not necessarily at that. And for guys, I do know finances can affect them so much that they're no longer...
libido.
Yeah, it affects their libido. It affects everything. And it just puts like this dark cloud around them everywhere they go. Like they can't see beyond it, to the point where he's at a fancy restaurant, they're having a free and amazing, she said it went perfectly in capital letters, an amazing, perfect evening. But the moment they go elsewhere and he has to pay, all of a sudden he will just forego. forego any drinks, forego any service, and just pay for her. So clearly he still loves and cares about his wife Opie, and he wants her to have a good time. So I think they need to approach it on all, like, definitely rejig the finances, because that is what is
It's not
causing
working,
everyone.
whatever they're doing right now. It's
As
not
much
working.
as she says that they've got in the budget, he doesn't think they do. So definitely they need to rejig it somehow, some way. Definitely do the little things. But I think, you know what, especially as women, I think sometimes we use romance in replacement of connection.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So
They
it's
have
not just,
intimacy.
it's just not romance. It's not romance like it's in the flowers, the dates, and it's connection. If all you talk about is finances, my God, I've checked out. Even me, every time that there's certain people in my life, all they talk is business. Oh my God, stop talking to me about business. I'm dead. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is someone that is in love with her partner, her husband. Like, she wants to talk about silly things, what you've watched on the TV. Oh my God, have you got any gossip for me? Like, this is how you connect. I'm pretty sure she's missing connection, and obviously in the form of romance, etc., etc. So definitely the little cheap dates, rejig the finances, and he needs maybe therapy or some outlet so that he's not stressed and taking it home. Like, because he needs to decompress. Otherwise, it sounds like this man is going to blow up, and she might get the brunt of it. And that's where I fear it will then affect their relationship, which has been okay, minus, like, obviously this really, really tight, like, period in their life. So I think they need to do that. But sis, what you're proposing is cheating. Okay, so let's also address that, because that's not okay. That's not okay. And more often than not, if a guy did that, we'll be the first ones to cuss that guy out. And we know many girls would not be okay with their husband silently battling the fact that their wife no longer wants to, like, it's no longer fun with them, and they're thinking about stepping out and entertaining other women. It's called cheating. So how about we address that? No, it's not okay. Have a conversation with your husband. Have a conversation with your husband and tell him how you're thinking and feeling, how he's making you feel, how this whole period is affecting your relationship, your marriage, because it's not about your feeling. It's actually now affecting your marriage, because you're now thinking, let me take outside suitors. Imaginary outside suitors, yeah? So please don't do that. And in terms of opening a marriage, a relationship, I feel and I think from what I've seen, it's best when both parties are in mutual agreement. Otherwise, it is what? Cheating.
I was going to say that definitely have that conversation with, Opie needs to have that conversation with her husband.
Absolutely.
Like, just about how you feel, what you want, how he's making you feel. Like, have that open conversation, but you cannot
add another party.
say
oh my God,
that it's making you feel icky towards him. Like, she can't say that word, because instantly his back will be up.
Absolutely.
I know that's how she's written it in, but don't say that one word. That's all. Like, seriously, he will not be able to move past that one word. And then secondly, do not mention the open relationship. You already know the answer. Like, you typed it.
But
you know
also
the answer already. So don't propose that. And also, I fully understand what it's like. And it happens in a lot of relationships. Like, I want her to know that we do, like, see and understand how you can be in a relationship and your relationship's not going so well, and then you look outside and suddenly other people look more attractive to you. It's such a normal feeling, and it's so normal to, like, romanticize and think that that would be that would be without problems. But just don't propose that as a solution.
I think that's why she wrote in, though.
Yeah.
It's not giving that's what she's going to do. I think
No, you never know. Some people, they're really honest, and they have to say everything, and it's just maybe it's just part of her, and she will come so honestly, and she will say the word icky, and I'm telling you, no one can move past that word. Once you say that word, it's so offensive.
But fact is, she knows it's a phase. She's even written this, and also she said that she doesn't want to sleep with anybody else. Like, it's only her husband for her. So it's clear as day, you need to have a conversation with him. That would be the first step.
Have a loving conversation. Tell him how much you love him.
Exactly.
Tell him how much fun you have with him. But just tell him that everything has become about finances, and it's really wearing you down. And you want to go back to the fun times. and if you could introduce that back into your relationship. I think that
Yeah.
would be a nice way to introduce that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also just like tension. Like, what is the household environment like? When somebody's stressed and you live with that person, they also feel stressed. Like, I'm so sure that this is filtering into past their romance, just like day to day. Like, being around somebody who has this cloud over their head, and just he might end up being more moody as well. Like, you need to talk to him, even just past romance. Just, I'm sure the way that he's moving, it's affecting maybe even the kids.
And the thing is, I think not everybody is aware of how much their moods impact others. So he may not even be aware how it's impacting the children, yourself. So that's why I do say first step is definitely communicate. Okay, so we have a few comments as well as OP responding. Okay, first comment. Lord, the girls will have a field day on this one.
And we did.
I personally think y'all need counselling. Adding other people into the mix is only going to make things worse. Comment 2. Boredom is a blessing at times. It strikes ambition and imagination. Pour that boredom into your marriage, spice it up, date, go to counselling. Anything in the world but opening it up. That is the death blow to most marriages. Read up on how many marriages end because of it. Wake up and get a reality check. OP responded, I appreciate this comment. There's no one else I'd rather be bored with than him. I just wish he wasn't so negative all the time. Comment 3. In this described situation, no, in capital letters. Open marriages should come from a place of comfort, not a fix. The distance in your marriage sounds like the stresses of living a particular lifestyle. Your marriage, your connection to your spouse, should not be taking the hit here. There has to be a different place to make a sacrifice to keep your connection to each other. This coming from a person who would wildly enjoy a poly relationship. Fix your foundation in your marriage first, then seek your exploration together. OP responded, thank you for this comment. To be honest, I'm not actually keen on polygamy. I'm just kind of desperate for classic romance right now. I would definitely give it some more thought. I agree with everything everybody said. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Okay, so my story comes from, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for choosing my art hobby over my daughter's 2-minute dance performance and upsetting my husband?
Don't say anything, Melinda. Melinda's always jumping to conclusions. She's like, yes!
No, I love it. No, but I like it. I like it.
No, I can see her mouth just...
I will hold my mouth and my thoughts until I've heard the whole dialogue.
I like the responses. Okay.
the baby.
I, 40 female, have been married to my husband, 43 male, for 17 years, together 23. We have 3 kids, 12, 10 and 8. His mum, 65, and sister, 45, have lived with us since 2013 for financial reasons. They both rely on him a lot, and I often feel like a third wheel in my own house. In 2022, I went through a nearly 2-year legal/union battle at work that caused panic attacks. So I leaned heavily into art. I'm an art teacher, and it became a passion and a coping tool. I eventually began doing shows and teaching a couple adult art classes. It makes me feel happy and myself again. My husband has repeatedly told me I ignore everyone when I read or draw, and gets upset if the kids come to him when I'm home, even if I already helped them. For example, my daughter asked for toast. I told her she could make it and I would help if needed. She went to him instead. He made it, then was mad at me. Last month, I had booked and prepaid for an art show 7 months in advance. It fell on the same day my daughter had a 2-minute recital performance at a local Halloween event. I had already attended both her dance rehearsals, and she told me she was okay with me missing the short performance. My husband originally agreed to attend the art event with me, but backed out a week before, which made things stressful because I needed help. But I still went. In capital letters. This is literally the only kid thing I have missed. He now says I choose art over family and has been angry and resentful since. I have already drastically cut down my art events and barely do anything outside the home anymore. I handle full-time teaching, business admin for our company, kids activities, cleaning support, and volunteer for Girl Scout, school events, etc. But my husband still feels my hobbies take away from the family and that I don't do enough. I feel like I'm trying to keep everyone afloat and also just have a small piece of myself left. He feels abandoned and says I'm neglecting the home and kids anytime I do anything for myself.
I would have the motherfucker of all crash outs, bro. She can't get one little piece of enjoyment after all the things that she's listed out. Yeah, you're crazy. Do you know what I hate? And you see it all the time. Currently we're watching, what we watching? All Her Fault. And yet again, you have a mother that does it all, has her own business, runs this, that and other. It's at the children's, every event that they have. And when she asks the dad to pick up, he guilt trips her. That's what Opie's husband is doing. Guilt tripping her for enjoying and having the little thing that she has in a completely busy schedule. Men do this to women all the time. Like, they're not allowed to have their little hobbies, go out once in a while, enjoy some time off. They're expected to be full-time parents all the time. The husband is there for a reason. Why can he not, on the one event, for the one time that she needs it, replace her? Why can't she go and be allowed to have her art event that she paid for months in advance? I'm sorry, no, I would crash out. Oh my God, I would go off.
I agree with Melinda, but from the dilemma, it seems that her husband is going through it in his own way. He has
Communicate that then.
Yeah, he has a lot of dependence on him, i.e. his mother and his sister. I think he is projecting. I think he's projecting how he feels and how trapped he is onto his wife. That's what he's given, because he doesn't have any time. He financially, his mother and sister financially expect him to look after them. They've been living with them since 2013. I do believe that he has his stresses. I completely agree with everything that Melinda's saying, by the way. I would have a crash out just because, but then I would also understand that he seems like he's also going through it. So
use your words.
So I would personally have a conversation with my husband. I would sit him down and I would say, you know what? I'm doing the best that I can in the same way that you are doing the best that you can. So now we have to team up and start figuring out what is going to be our role so that we both get some time, like separately together, so that you can have a bit of time and I can have a bit of time. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing my art. I'm going to keep doing this thing that makes me happy, because that's the only thing that's stopping me from crashing out, or
Literally.
it's the thing that's keeping me sane. These are the things that I do. And sometimes you do have to create like a list or something, like all the things you do, and so people can see it like on black and white paper. So I would do that, but I would have a conversation, whether it's a loving conversation, somewhere away from the home. I wouldn't have it in the home. I would, I don't know, go to a restaurant, go to a library, wherever you want to have that talk, and actually sit down and say, there is a big problem here, and it seems to be that you are projecting onto me, and I need us to have a talk so that we can figure out what can make us happy. Otherwise, this marriage is not going to last, because I'm not going to keep being bullied in my own home for having a hobby that actually ties in with my
She has anxiety she used to have, and that helps her as well.
Yeah, I was like, what is it that you want from me? So I do think that they're both under a lot of stress, and I definitely think he is taking it out on her. Obviously, she hasn't divulged what's going on with like the mum, but I can only imagine having children, having a household, and then also having dependents being grown-ass adults, because no one's talking about why.
No, you're assuming though, Marie. He never said in here, the dilemma never said that he is stressed out from having to take care of them and having them under the roof, did it?
No.
It didn't. No, and that's no, Marie, you're doing something, and I don't think you even realise it. A lot of women think, okay, cool, if a man is shelling out money and taking care of his family, yeah, that he is really like taking on so much, when they could have the space and they're living together, like, and it's not that stressful. But from what I've read, I'm only bearing in mind the stuff that was written down about how much Opie actually handles. But women, and I swear down, we've just been programmed this way. We think, if a man is paying for his family, paying for his mum's nursing care home, or paying for his sister's this, that and other, oh my God, what a good man, he's taking care of so much, and like, he's so stressed. It didn't say that. It did. Like, literally,
I'm not saying that he's...
but that's literally the line of thinking that you've come in. You said that he must be stressed, so he must be taking on so much. He must be he must be... What that man has been doing, and what I heard, he's guilt tripping her for the little hobby that she has, the little time that she has, to the point where these people start certain narratives, yeah, and it continues, such as he's saying that you ignore the whole family when you're doing your art, and he's gotten her children, he's saying you ignore the children, which men do this. They make women feel guilty for taking any piece of time, even if it's 10 minutes, and it's like, sorry, I don't think you realise you're doing it. But it's like, it wasn't listed here that he's stressed that he's taking care of the family. But it's just such a female thing to do, to like take pity on a man and assume he's doing so much for his family. When sometimes it's just money. Like, they have the money, they can afford it. So here, I'll pay for whatever it is that you need. But
it's true. I mean, there is nothing to suggest that they don't have the money. It just said that
they never mentioned money one time as a problem.
It just suggests that the mum and the sister, for financial reasons, live with them, so they have financial issues.
Can't afford it.
But it doesn't say that Opie and his husband.
I still think that he needs to have a conversation.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Use your words. 1,000%.
There's nothing to suggest that Opie and her husband have financial issues or they're stressed. But so my thing is, I agree with Marie completely. Like, have a conversation. Agreed. You do need to talk. Maybe therapy can help you communicate that. But what I'm hearing plainly is he resents her having a hobby. He resents her having another interest.
Go and collect his own hobby.
Exactly. So that's the biggest problem, is that he really resents her art. And I mean specifically her art. He really resents the outside of working hours or work commitments. He resents this passion and this fire that she has,
the time that she,
and
it's the time that she
gets. The thing is, like, if they are going to go therapy, I really need them to tackle just the extent to how much he resents it, because something as simple as his daughter asking him to make toast, that was something that he got really mad at OP for. That's really concerning. Toast. You can't help your daughter get toast.
He'll paint her out as a bad parent.
And
because she didn't help her daughter.
So I'm really concerned at just how much resentment he has towards his wife having something, an interest
for herself.
Or just an interest outside of familial duties, outside of work commitments. Like, there's a real resentment, and that's why he started tainting her experiences really negative for the family. It's like, don't forget, he said he would go to the recital and then backed out. So it's okay for him to back out.
But not her.
But she can't.
Yep.
She doesn't get any breaks from this marriage, any breaks from being a wife, any breaks from being a mother. And that's my real concern. So unfortunately, I am watching All Her Fault at the moment, and there is this one particular couple, and so this is why this is going to sound and then I'll say here, I'm biased, but this is going to sound quite extreme. I say, if he continues and keeps this up, divorce has to be the solution, because you know what it also does? It frees you up, OP, so you can be and you can experience art in the way that you love it. She's saying that this is basically a stress reliever. This is something she loves, like she really likes it, but it gets you time back. And you know what, you also now don't have to be the third wheel in your household. When you do go therapy, there's a few things you need to tackle: how to get these two people out of your house, how to not be third wheel, how to not keep having to justify why it's okay for you to have a hobby, or having to justify and explain that you have this interest, that there is no reason for any of that. But being a third wheel in your house and having so many people in that house, by the way, is mad.
But I'm telling you, and people can say I'm biased, but I see it all the time. I'm telling you right now, that man could be almost winning by having so many women in that household taking care of his kids. Do you know that? It could actually be quite beneficial for him. And so he can pick and choose what parental duties that he's doing. But men have this way of making a woman feel so guilty for just taking some me time. And I'm sorry,
but they had an agreement.
But also she paid, can I just say, seriously, she paid months in advance. She should be allowed to attend this event. Unfortunately, sometimes it does occur on dates that your kids have stuff. Marie, didn't we go, where did we go? We went to see Coco Jones, and wasn't it Tam's birthday? Yeah. Exactly, but you're allowed to do that. It was your son's birthday, but you
I'm gonna
had
take time off.
Exactly, but you had planned it in advance. It was in your calendar, and yes, it was your son's birthday. But like you made up to him, and like you're allowed to do that guilt free.
It was his birthday the whole
Guilt
day.
free, exactly.
Not just evening time.
Yeah, it was his birthday the whole day. We did the thing in the morning. We did it before I left, and
But generally
we had
speaking,
something
you're
else the other day.
allowed time off.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, because I don't come from a woman. I don't come from this sort of background. Like I feel like I'm in a household that's quite fair.
Yeah.
And it's split quite fairly.
isn't.
And this is not. But when we talk about these dilemmas, I always try to be as fair as I can be to the other party because of elements of the story that are given. So even if it is imagining not actually what's happening, but I try to give, in my mind, that's how it works anyway, I try and see the whole picture of where he might be struggling. But at the same time, I understand that she's not getting a good deal. She's not good.
She isn't now good.
It's not
doing
good
a lot,
what's
you know?
happening on her side, because from what she's listed, she suffers from anxiety. The one outlet she does have is resented in her household, which I can completely understand. But like I said, to be fair, you can go to...
Anxiety, it's panic attacks.
Oh, panic attacks.
Oh, sorry, panic attacks. She can talk to her husband and say, look, it seems like there's a problem with me having this hobby. So how about we talk about both having time? Each of us have some free time. That's like the best and fair way to do it. And then if it still continues, you can start thinking about other ways to get rid of him and get rid of everyone in your house. But at least you have to come to a compromise, at least. And then if he doesn't accept it, then what can you do?
Yeah.
And
And
also
also
just
just about
wait a second, I just
partnership.
add-
Sorry, also just about being a fair partner.
Agreed.
Because
Yeah, like-
I'm telling you right now, her feeling like a third wheel,
Yeah.
that's a partner problem.
Yeah.
Because there are many, like this is a cultural thing that can happen where your parents do live with you.
Yeah.
And you can still be a good partner. But making someone feel like a third wheel within their own household, that's a partner problem. Having you be resentful because your daughter asked you to help with toast, that's a partner problem.
I do want to talk about that as well. Like when it's said, I feel like there's little moments that have built up to that. What he's, like you said, he resents her. So even the little things that happen, he's just like, you see, you're not a good parent. They need to fix it if they can, or just part ways, because you can't keep being blamed in your household, isn't it?
Agreed. I agree with everything everybody said. But in regards to your conversation about them talking about their hobbies, I think what's very important is for him to agree to respect her hobby.
Yeah,
he's got
definitely.
no respect for her hobby and the time that she
But
puts
that's what
aside
he said,
for
the job
it.
is- I don't
ignoring
really-
your
but I don't
family.
No, but the hobby bit, because the job is the job. But
I feel like it's wild that he would not
Very.
respect a hobby that's also
attached to a job.
attached to a job. That's crazy to me. It's like someone who is working in IT and does coding and teaches coding and then teaches coding on the side. Why would you not respect the part where he teaches coding on the side? It's the same. It's all relative.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand why it's such a big issue for him, which is why I think he must resent the free time that she has. But no one has to spend free time doing kid things. That's not fun. As a mum, I can tell you something for free. Doing things with kids is not fun because guess what? I'm not a kid. I don't always enjoy
guys don't think like
doing kid things.
they think women enjoy anything kid related.
No.
They think
And they
women
think
There's
love
parts,
it.
there's parts of it that I love. Don't enjoy bedtime. Like putting them to bed, it's a task. I don't enjoy shower time. These I can list. I don't enjoy morning routine, school run. That if I could get rid of that one, fantastic. That would actually make the mother experience the best, because that one having a tantrum because they didn't open the car door, or something not happening the way they wanted in their little minds, or me saying something and they're like automatically they're in a bad mood. Sometimes it's nothing. It could be that you put the toaster the wrong way, sets them off. I don't enjoy the school run. So there's parts of motherhood that we don't enjoy. We don't have to. Doesn't mean that I'm less of a mother. So I think he needs to reduce it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Top comment. It sounds like there is a lot more to this than simply missing a 2-minute performance.
They've got problems, man.
Huge.
Yeah, I think so.
They've got marital problems. There's something going on there.
I think
and I
it's
think
going to explode.
I think you guys are right. I think everything you guys have highlighted is completely right. But at the same time, I think that they should either divorce or talk about it. No,
I think start with a chat.
Yeah, no, definitely
Talk
start with a
first,
chat.
for
Like,
sure.
let's both have a hobby. Because why are you so focused on what I'm doing, bruv?
Listen.
Like,
I think in the end it's going to end in a divorce because I
she'll be
think
better
it's
off as well.
I think
once she
OP's
gets her free
happy
time
part-
back.
Yeah, OP's happiness will actually start the minute that
Skyrocket.
she's relieved
Yeah.
of living with her sister-in-law, living with her mother-in-law, dealing with a man who resents any time that she spends outside of work on art. And just one thing that I really hate is he reneged. He agreed to go to that event knowing full well it was she couldn't attend because of her
do wonder
booked
why
event.
he did that.
reneged and then had such an issue and basically called her bad mum.
Yeah.
And that's what I have a real problem with. Like he's constantly nitpicking at her, but there's
that's
real
the word that was missing.
resentment.
He's
Nitpicking.
nitpicking.
But there's
He's
real
nitpicking at everything. Like, everything that she does.
When you put it all together, it paints her out as a bad mum, and that's
no,
what I don't.
I'm,
That's
guys,
what I'm
I'm
like.
not disagreeing
wow,
with you at all.
that's not okay.
I just take a little longer to get to your conclusion. That's all. You got there straight away. Me, I just went for another way. That's all.
But do you know what? It's watching all her fault.
Yeah.
It's literally sick. Like Marie, you have to watch it. It's a brilliant show.
So
I mean, I was forced to watch episode 4 yesterday. It didn't
you were.
make me want to watch
did you
it.
like the look of it?
No, not really.
Oh
No, you need to watch it. It's brilliant.
It wasn't the best episode, was it? I mean, because I wasn't really listening. I was doing something else, isn't it? Because I don't like watching shows right in the middle. And it wasn't a grabbing episode. It was more like a...
Do you know what?
It felt
I think
like
you
a
told me the
thriller.
backstory. You know.
Yeah. No, but I will watch it because you guys told me to, and we normally like the same thing. So
It's
I
fantastic.
will definitely watch it.
Guys, watch all her fault. It's brilliant.
Okay, so now we've come to the part of the episode where we go to the feed set, and this week we have, please tell me what makes you go from I'm spending the rest of my life with him to dumping him within hours, days, or real fast. Comment with number 1. It's not like you had real cancer. I had the start of cervical cancer, just had a hysterectomy. Sure, I may not have gone through chemo, but I was in so much pain. Dumped him right after.
Whoa, that's out of order.
I'm in medical school and he was furious I wasn't open to dropping out and having a kid with him. He was unemployed.
The unemployed have got so much free time, you know.
So much free
and
time
they
to have
love
thoughts.
creating babies. It's crazy.
I saw a TikTok about that. The one thing unemployed people are gonna one thing poor people are gonna do is have
Make
kids.
babies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He told me to stop speaking that deportation language. I was speaking in Spanish, not deportation language.
Do you know how rude he is?
Oh my god.
Deportation.
Oh my god, that is so rude. That man
It's
is
true.
racist.
100%. A stranger.
No, that's my mother tongue is deportation.
It says stop speaking that deportation language. Get it out of here.
that is-
Spanish, you know.
that is
Not
crazy.
even Yoruba. He just said one time for the one time.
I bet he lives in LA.
A stranger came up to me in public and told me I deserved better. That's mad, isn't it?
I would do a reevaluation of everything. What? Oh, that's crazy.
He had an affair with the woman who sold me my wedding dress.
Immediately.
No, that's
Yeah, you have to end that.
I asked him why he was excited to get married, and he said, I'm excited to not have to look for someone else anymore. We were supposed to get married tomorrow. I called it off this past Saturday.
good.
So anyone will do. Okay, cool.
He ghosted me as a punishment for cutting my hair into a pixie cut. I met my now husband a few months later.
Good.
Can you imagine? People are mad, you know. Told me, I know I put you through so much trauma, but I'm glad it made you the person you are today.
No.
And it was over immediately.
I would want to fight you.
I would.
I would want to fight you.
In fact, I'd go to the police station.
Take me in.
I'd say
I know what I'm about
I need to
do.
stay for the night at least because what I'm about to commit.
Listen.
My mother was in hospital 2 hours away, diagnosed with a cancer reoccurrence. He told me his family expected me at some party and that he'd have to reevaluate things if my priorities weren't straightened up.
Don't worry, we'll evaluate right now. Let's have our appraisal. It's done. How about that?
I'd be like, am I being
Reevaluate.
pranked?
Are you crazy?
It's like, I know your mum's got cancer, but there's a party.
But exactly that we both need to attend. It's crazy.
Madness.
Very.
People are crazy. My next story is from relationship advice. My 23 female boyfriend, 26 male, hides his income from his family and it's hurting their view of me. How do I convince my boyfriend to reconsider? My boyfriend made a lot of money on meme stocks during the pandemic and as a result has the financial freedom to do things he is passionate about rather than things he has to do. He is finishing up a theology PhD and having the time of his life. We've travelled together to places all over Europe, the Middle East and Africa. He also coaches high school basketball during the season, which he loves. His parents think he is wasting time not going to law or medical school. He is going to a very big name university on the East Coast, so they give him a pass on that. But they think he coaches basketball because of me, played in college. But he has been a fan since he was a kid and they know that. They see my Instagram of our travel pics and some of the gifts he's gotten me and think I'm bleeding a grad student on a PhD stipend dry when in reality his dividends alone are 6 figures.
Whoa.
His sisters send him care packages with food because they think he will starve to death spending all his money on me. I've asked him to tell his family it's not true and that he is well enough off. And he says that it would cause more problems because his extended family have fought over money before. I really want a good relationship with his family because I see us going the distance. But he says they will love me if he loves me. And I'm not seeing it yet. How do I get him to see that I actually care about what they think of me and that they see me as a bad influence and a gold digger of a PhD student?
By having a conversation with him.
Really straightforward.
Like the same way that she can type in is the same exact conversation that she needs to be having with him. But also, I would block his family members
from Instagram
from
or
social media,
platforms, right? Yeah.
Because if you're saying that that's actually the source of how they've concluded what they concluded, then stop it. Stop them having access to you guys' lives, you guys' vibrant and expensive lives.
Lifestyle.
That doesn't make sense. But have an honest conversation with him and express to him so he fully understands just how important their opinion is of you. And also just tell him, create a new story. Because I do understand, like, the biggest problems that you can have in family is finances. It can be. So if he knows that it's going to be a problem, tell him, create a new story. Create a new story, a new lie that you need to tell them that doesn't make me out to be the villain in your story. Yeah. And also one that stops them giving care packages to you because you know that's not fair. You know if they don't have much, you shouldn't be taking from them.
Yeah, I think when you said that, I said, sir, come on, stop that shit. I think, first of all, a conversation. And if he cares about her, he would be open to listening to her and also not want her misrepresented to his family. If he really cares about how she's portrayed, like, no one wants their partner being seen as like a bad influence on them, etc. So if he really cares about her, he'll change that narrative, or maybe not necessarily feed it so much. But I'm with May. I would get rid of every family, contact, friend from my Instagram, whatever they're following me on, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is. I am deleting, blocking. You will see no more. Because you have to put a stop to that. They think that she's the reason why for doing all of this, that and the other, when it's like, that isn't okay. So you're misrepresenting yourself, sis, by allowing them to have access and to be able to fill in the blanks and getting it wrong.
Yeah, I would do what you said, like create a new narrative. No one needs to know he's rich though.
Yeah.
Because like he said, it's caused problems in the past. So you guys need to sit down and figure out a story. And you know what? I feel like men are really dismissive of things that are quite important to us. So I think it is worth sitting him down and saying, look, I know that you don't care, but I do.
Yeah.
I really do care what your family think of me. And right now they think that you have little money and I'm taking all of it.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to tell him you're rich, that's fine. But we need to come up with a new story.
Absolutely.
A story that paints me in a better picture, in a better way. Like, we need to scrap that. They already think I'm bad. I don't need them to think wassa. Because when you now ask me to marry you, and what's that going to look like? They're going to be like, I trapped you or whatnot. Like, so definitely fix that. But it doesn't have to be the big reveal that you're rich.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. So yeah, I agree. So top comment, are they less likely to regard you as a gold digger if they discover he's rich? Was it?
That's a good question.
They don't like you. And sometimes that's just the gag is they just don't like you.
But she shouldn't be blamed though, and that's what she's trying to change.
No, that's absolutely correct.
Okay, so my dilemma is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for refusing to give my co-worker their office back now that work from home has been cancelled? Back in 2023, a woman, Jen, in my building left for maternity leave. After having her child, Jen took advantage of our company's work from home program, which left her office open. I placed a request in for the space with my manager and she said yes. She gave it a go, so I got to leave my crappy cubicle for my very own private office. My employer has announced that work from home will end on the 17th of November 2025. All employees are to be back in the office by that date. Yeah, that sucks, I know. Yesterday, work from home employees came in for tours and desk assignments. When Jen saw I was in her office, she became agitated and asked if I'll be leaving so she could take it back over. I told her flatly that I had no intention to give up the office. Jen spoke with a manager about this, and management's immediate decision was that I was under no obligation to move out of the office. I was approached and asked if I had an interest in returning to a cubicle. I said no. There was no follow-up from my manager or HR, as they both see the matter is closed. Now, just a day later, I'm getting a stink eye from co-workers who think I'm punishing Jen for something outside of her control. Jen has also emailed me asking me to consider the position she's in and that she's already being punished by the company by being compelled to return to the building and asking me to consider her feelings. Sincerely, I definitely understand how much this sucks for her and everyone else being forced to come back, but I have liked having my own office. I have a lot of stuff in here that I would otherwise have to carry back home. I'd be giving up the privacy that I've become adjusted to, and if I'm being honest, I enjoy actually having a nice window to look out and none of the noise of the cubicles. Am I the arsehole here?
No. And you know what? It's every man for themselves in the working world. In the corporate space, no. I was going to say you need to consult HR or your bosses, but you've already done that.
She has, yeah.
And in doing so, they said it's entirely your discretion if you want to change. And you've decided you don't want to, and you don't have to. It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter that people are giving you the stink eye. They're not your friends. And they don't have your best interest at heart. Sorry, you don't always get what you want. And this is what Jen is learning.
Even if you ask politely.
This is what Jen is learning, right?
Yeah.
Like, when did this happen? When did she leave? In 2020?
2023, 2 years ago.
So for 2 years, I've lived nicely and had my own office. And now you want me to go back to a cubicle.
No.
And I don't have to. No.
But, hold on. You chose to have the luxury of working from home. You can't expect that when you come back to work, you're going to have everything's back to normal. That doesn't make any sense. Like, things move on. Unfortunately, you are going to have to go back to a cubicle. And then if someone leaves, then you may ask to be in that office. Otherwise, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Go back to your cubicle. And whether the company is...
But who are you talking to? Jen?
Jen.
Oh, okay.
But if the company...
But Jen didn't have a cubicle. You said go back to the cubicle.
No,
now
she's
she
going to
has
have
to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's going to have to go back to the cubicle where I was. And you know what? If someone else leaves an office, guess what she can do? Make a request to go into the office, just like I had to. And then if you get pregnant and have a baby again, then you're going to go back to work again, back to your home office again. Sorry, but that's just how it works. You can't expect to have an office waiting for you for 2 years. Who does that? Or you just expect people to get out of the office and go back to where they used to be. No one's going back to the gutter. Who do you know that's going to go back to the gutter?
Listen.
I'm so sorry, Jen.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Definitely.
Get a grip.
But my thing is literally, if everybody has gone through the appropriate channels, suck it up.
Yeah.
You're going to have to take it. Take the L.
Literally,
Hold it.
she's done what she needed to do in terms of asking HR, approaching her manager, and they all said case closed. No, they said case closed. That
And
she's
then she's
under no
asking-
obligation. So yeah, Jen is just gonna suck it up. I'm sorry, and have to do
She's a
the
little bit
same
entitled.
thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's
A
entitled.
little,
But
a
you know,
lot.
She is a lot because because, and also she's got other co-workers on her side and making her OP feel bad as well. But you know what it is? There are some people in this life, that honestly think they can put down toys, put down stuff, and it'll just be always waiting for them. Do you remember in Bridgerton? Yeah, like with one of the main characters, her dad said she's like that. And it's just not the way the world works. Like, people do move on, like things do change. So she can't just expect the office to just be clear for her the whole time and it goes back to normal. That's not... No,
it's not a thing, man.
It's not the way the world works. It's not fair that way.
I would say this is a life lesson. You
Absolutely.
don't always get what you want.
Exactly. I have comments here, and OP responded as well. Comment: is there a reason Jenny had the office? High position that required privacy for calls or meetings, etc. If there is no real reason for her to have the office and HR/your boss aren't telling you that you have to move, just stand your ground. OP replied: my company is weird. We have 15 non-managerial offices. When one becomes available, you may bid on one, and whoever has the most seniority and best performance metrics wins the office. Generally, 1 or 2 offices become available every year, either because of promotions or turnover. So Jen and I are no different than anybody else in the cubicles. When it became available, I got it because I asked and I had the seniority and metrics to win over anyone else who'd placed a request. It seems like this is fair. She went via the fair and company policies and she was able to get the office. So therefore, Jen shouldn't be in her feelings about this.
The loser is always going to be in their feelings.
Oh, well,
that's what happens
over it.
Yeah.
Final dilemma comes from, am I the arsehole? Am I the arsehole for wanting a prenup before marriage? I, 31 male, recently got engaged to my girlfriend, 28 female. And we've been on cloud 9 until I brought up the idea of a prenup. I run my own business and have a good amount of savings plus a house I bought a few years ago. She's doing fine too, but doesn't have as much financially, which is totally okay by me. The prenup isn't about not trusting her. It's just something I've always felt made sense. It's about protecting both of us if ever things go sideways. I even told her I'd want her to have the same security if roles were reversed, but she took it hard. She said it made her feel like I was expecting a divorce and that it killed the romance of everything. We haven't had a full-on fight, but the mood shifted and she's been kind of distant since I brought it up. I feel a bit blindsided because I didn't think this would be such a deal breaker. Now I'm stuck wondering if I'm being cold or overly logical, or if this is just a hard conversation that we need to go through.
Hard conversation, my guy.
Yeah, he's not doing anything wrong.
And
you're meant to protect your assets. You're meant to protect yourself.
But also, it protects both parties. Like, even when you do a prenup, if you go and give it to a lawyer, they're going to make sure that it's fair for the both parties. So she just has to also put her rules in there as well. Like, I do understand why she feels like he's killing the romance, but even us, like, we've been friends for such a long time, but we have a contract in between us, which is almost like a prenup as well. So it's just to be fair.
It's to protect everyone.
Yeah, it's to protect everyone. It's
all parties, honestly. And they are supposed to work for everyone. So
be mature.
Marie's right. You are supposed to get a lawyer. If you're not the one that proposed it, the other party needs to get a lawyer so they can work and make sure that the terms and conditions are fair for each party.
Yeah.
Each party represented. So, like, please, those that don't have less, do not see it as your partner's trying to take from you and leave you with nothing. That's not what it is. It's just a protection. Someone that's worked hard, has their own business, has their own assets, like, they should be allowed to protect themselves. It isn't anything against you. Like, it's not them trying to, I don't know, like, leave you with nothing and stifle your future and leave you destitute in the event of a divorce, etc. It's not that. They're just trying to protect themselves, as they should be allowed to.
I was going to say, do you know what? When I was younger, I thought along the same lines as his girlfriend. But now that I'm older and more educated, and this might sound a bit patronizing, but I think she needs to educate herself on what a prenup actually is, because it's actually a really good thing.
Yeah.
It's asset protection for anybody that comes in with an asset or with assets. And also, it's so great from a transparency perspective. Everybody knows what they came in with and that they can leave back with. And do you know what I really like? It comes down to being fair. Like, it is extremely fair, and as the girls have said, it's
Not all of them.
Okay,
Not all of them.
Okay, no.
No, but
they
those
can
are-
be as
those
fair
are
as
some
the two of you
people-
negotiate
Yeah.
it to be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
So
some
that-
people can be... Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I see a lot of benefits to a prenup if you own something. Like if you're part of a family business, that business stays within the family as well. So my thing is, I see a lot of benefits to it. And I think all your girlfriend needs to do is educate herself on the prenup, get a better
hire a
understanding,
lawyer.
hire a lawyer, and also, make sure that she's satisfied and happy with all of the terms. Like, do you know what it does as well? It saves you so much time and money when it comes to the divorce. When everybody knows exactly what they're leaving with before they got into it, it saves you.
People still call for that kind of stuff, though.
No.
regardless of
But it
having a
actually
prenup.
does. That's the purpose of a prenup.
Yeah.
It saves time and just back and forth, like just resentment. If you knew from the beginning, if you cheat, you are losing 50% of your assets, then you can't be surprised when that's actually what happens in the divorce. It saves you so much time instead of someone saying, I'm going to take the house, you don't need to do none of that negotiation. It's there, black and white. And it's been agreed upon. I think she's just in her feelings and she's looking at it from an emotional standpoint.
Yeah.
But if she educates herself, then she'll fully understand that it's actually a really beneficial thing to have in place.
It can definitely work for her.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And I don't think she probably doesn't understand that.
Okay, top comment. I would say not the arsehole, because a prenup isn't necessarily a bad thing, but a prenup is something you should discuss before even getting engaged. Have you mentioned it at all before, even while dating? It sounds like you just dropped the idea on her.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, she probably feels blindsided, honestly.
Oh, get unblinded, man.
I agree.
Honestly.
Real quick as
Get
well.
a grip.
They need to just have a simple conversation. Honestly, everything comes down to clear communication.
And you know what? It's also not somebody thinking about the end before the end has come, because some people present that argument. It's not. It's that they have an asset that they want to protect, and that's his business.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
See you later. Bye.
My husband originally... this accent. My husband originally... Hey, how's this one?
Originally.
My husband originally... My husband originally agreed... Whoa. Hey!